Back to the Earnest Faison Show. I'm joined by Mr. Carlos. Then,
Hey, if not now.
if not now, I like that. That's catchy, man.
Hey.
Carlos is what we call a whiz kid. He knows all about social media. He does with finance, real estate, hits on YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. And he's going to kind of decipher some of the misnomers that some of you people thought that was so difficult. The way this man is going to explain it, you're going to find out that it's not so difficult. One of the things, Carlos, that I wanted to start out with was like the millennials and how they think versus the old school of knowledge. And what is that mentality like with the millennial and what are their hot spots, their skill set, Carlos?
Yeah, I mean, as far as millennials, I'm the millennial business and finance consultant. That's how I branded myself. I found that if you were to compare, millennial with, I guess someone like yourself or somebody who's a little bit older,
OG.
An OG, they're not as prone to work hard, I guess you could say. So they like to find the easy way to do things. And it's noted, I've heard it from my mom, I've heard it from my grandparents. You guys don't like working hard nowadays. You guys don't like doing things. Back in my day, we used to have to wash the laundry out on the river, with the metal thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They want an easy button.
Now we just put the laundry in the washing machine and let it go.
Right.
But we still don't want to do the laundry.
That's right.
So
millennials want the easy button.
We want the easy button, but technology has kind of made that possible.
Okay.
So with technology, we're able to go ahead and make jobs and make things a lot easier than they used to be. We walk up to an ATM, boom, 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 we take out the money we need and we go to where we need to. Swipe, swipe, swipe. We have our phones in our hands at all times. So.
Right. So what are some of the misnomers about, say, like a person starting a business? Because it's too grandiose for a lot of people because they think they have to have a tremendous amount of startup capital, which you do have to have some capital. What are some of the avenues that a person like Carlos can suggest to these people under the sound of my voice that actually you can do it another different way and a smarter way?
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't have to go ahead and spend a lot of money to make a lot of money. Nowadays, there's so many different avenues, especially, like I said, because of the internet, that you can make money with a relatively low cost as compared to in the past. So before, if you wanted to open up a store, you had to go and you had to find real estate. You had to go and you had to, pay rent or a mortgage or utilities. Whereas now you can literally go ahead and open up an online store and that's it. What do you spend? Maybe $30 on the domain name, which is the name of the website. Things like that, marketing.
And that's why places like Sears and JCPenney's are going out of business because Amazon said, look, we're here to stay. And guess what? You don't have to go to the store. The only thing you got to do, pull out your little handy-dandy credit card and with your cell phone and type in some digits and put your inbox and start shopping cart.
Yeah, it's easy. And I mean, the thing is that Amazon did it in such a way that is like incredible because first they started off as a bookseller. They only sold books. And then they went ahead and they started adding other products and they found out what people want. So as you're going ahead and you're finding out what people want to buy, and then you go ahead and you actually start making your own products because now they have Amazon products on Amazon. Now they know what people want to buy, and they're making more money because of it because they're selling them their own products.
That's interesting. So it really is easier, and it's more convenient because you can also do a visual and see what you want and what you don't want.
Exactly.
Which is pretty good. So you've dealt with real estate, is that correct?
Yeah, so I own...
is that one of your skill sets as well?
Yeah, so I own an investment property, which was life-changing for me. It's a 3-family house.
How did you go about getting that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I mean, I went the way that anybody would. I started off working really hard. I used to work at T-Mobile and Bank of America, both jobs. And in working both of them, I went ahead and, I accumulated a bunch of money to, invest because my goal was to buy a house before I turned 25. I actually closed on my house the day before my birthday, which was great. So I did accomplish my goal. And it took some work. I mean, my house, I actually got it foreclosed which is something that a lot of people don't know that they can do. And
foreclosure is huge.
it's huge. And I got my house for relatively low, and guess how much it's worth now? Yeah, a lot more than what I got it for.
I bet. You are watching the Earnest Faison Show. We're going to try to decipher some of these misnomers as far as things that you can do, things that you can't do. And Mr. Carlos here is the perfect person to kind of lead us through this process. As we move forward, one of the things that's been getting a lot of notoriety, and I've actually almost been drunk on the Kool-Aid as well, the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Oof,
Mr.
yeah.
Carlos, then, please do your thing.
So the funny thing about, cryptocurrencies is that it's not based on anything. So you know how like when the dollar first came out, there's definitely no paper trail. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people like it. But the thing about cryptocurrency, the reason why it rises and lowers in value is because it's what you think the value of cryptocurrency is. It's not what...
See, that's confusing to me, Carlos.
Exactly.
Can you go a little deeper?
Yep. So you know how like the dollar used to be backed by gold?
Exactly. Fort Knox.
Yes.
Back in the day, Fort Knox.
Yes. So
there you go.
Cryptocurrency is not backed on anything really. It's just...
So I'm John Q. Public.
Yeah.
I've got $1,000 set aside
Yeah.
that I was going to, go on a trip, but I see this Bitcoin going
Yeah.
up. So you're telling me, is it a good idea to take that $1,000 and I have it not backed by nothing, and I watch my phone, it goes up, and the Ethereum, whatever,
Ethereum,
and some of these other ones, XP,
XLR,
XL, you feeling where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
I'm butchering the name, but I understand.
It's all right.
You got the etiquette.
I get the etiquette.
So I'm saying to you, brother, I got $1,000. I'm putting my hard-earned $1,000, and I know the people on the sound of my voice feel the same way.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm putting my money into something that I can't see and touch. I mean, what gives and why is it a phenom? I'm trying to understand.
It's a phenom because ultimately, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, it's a currency that once it's made, and it gets harder to make each time one is made. So that's why it increases in
is it
value.
something? What is a Bitcoin?
It's not physical. It's not physical. It's literally digital. It's what you think it is. So all it is it's code. And computers make the Bitcoins. So they make these cryptocurrencies, whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
And you need very powerful computers in order to make them. So what it is it goes ahead and it encrypts this money and makes it so that if I were to send you that money, no one would ever know that I sent you that money. So for, let's say, for example, criminals and,
drug dealers or whatever. We don't advocate drug
the black
dealers. I just put it out
market
there.
and things like that. Well, I mean, they find this type of
A
transaction.
loophole is what you're saying.
I mean, it's
lack
not
of
really
better
a
terminology.
loophole because you're giving it to them directly. It's just there's no way that anybody else can see what you
A
give
paper
them.
trail. See what's
There's no
up.
paper trail.
Yeah.
The only
Money
person who
laundering,
has
you
the paper
can't.
trail is the one the person who sent it. Because they know who they sent it to.
Okay, so I'm going to move forward with Warren Buffett said, stay away from it. Berkshire Hathaway, who is one of the most respected people, richest men on the face of the earth, he's been around, he's saying stay away from it. But like anything, you know this probably better than me because you deal with it. The next best thing, people going to be like this anyway.
Yeah.
But then when it pops, you're going to say, I should have did it.
Well,
is that correct?
The thing about Bitcoin, for example, it did hit a high amount.
It did.
And it dropped substantially.
Do you
because it
lose the money?
Well, it's just like anything, any investment that you make. If you invest and you invested at higher than what it's at now, then yes, you lost money. So, I mean, I actually made $1,000 last week off Bitcoin, but that's because it went up from the price that I had it at.
Okay. Yeah, it's, you see?
So you buy low, you sell high.
Well, exactly. Well, there you go. They supply and demand.
That's how it is. And again, this is what even I had some trouble understanding it at first.
You see this blank look on my face because my people out there on the sound of my voice, I hate to do it, wait for it. What we have here is a failure to communicate. You know what I mean? I can't see it. I'm putting my money in it. If I lose it, you know what I mean? I can't vent against nobody. I mean, I'm just trying to understand what's going on here.
And it's not backed by it's not FINRA or like, you know, it's
FDIC.
Nope, none of that.
See, already there's a problem.
So it's not like FINRA is not involved with them really. It's their own kind of marketplace. And a lot of places are supporting it now because it's such a big...
what is it? Wells Fargo is accepting.
Yeah.
Some of these rappers out here in the game are getting paid on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I understand restaurants are accepting Bitcoin. So, I mean, is this the wave? I mean, Carlos, you're in the financial district. Is this the new wave? I don't know.
I mean, anything digital is the wave. They don't want you to walk around with cash anymore because, I mean, cash, although it's traceable, you know, it's also not the way that the government wants you to do transactions. Mm-hmm. They want you to pay with checks. They want you to pay with, you know, credit cards nowadays more than anything.
So they can monitor.
So Big
Brother's always watching.
Big Brother is always watching.
I got that.
Our biggest form of currency is going to be within our hands at all times, and that's our phones. So whichever way they decide.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Your phone.
Yeah.
So they can definitely keep an eye on you, just like that good old thing called a monitor TV, so they can watch you too.
I mean, that's kind of getting into conspiracy theories, but I mean, I'm a fan of those.
Well, like I told you, this show would flow, and I figured I could do some mental ping pong with you because, you know what I mean?
Well,
you're looking at a lot of different kinds of things here.
You look at it this way. You have your mobile phone. At one point, your mobile phone was able to remove the battery, right?
Okay.
There's a reason for that. As long as an electronic device is connected to a battery, it can turn on, whether it's on or off, or it looks off or on.
So if I take my battery out of my cell phone,
it lost its power.
They can't track you.
No.
Is that true? Because I've been told that.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we just continue this wonderful conversation, man, because we're giving them the straight goods. I told you we would. And,
I mean, I'm a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Ask away.
Well, I mean, we're going to drop it on them, just like I told you in the room. So computers and it's Bitcoin and everything and quantum computers.
Yeah.
Where do you see it as far as manpower, that is you and I, physical people doing the job, and these quantum computers? It's going to cut back on maybe a third of the workplace, I heard, or something.
So very soon, people are going to lose a lot of jobs. People that are studying for jobs now, they probably won't exist in 5 years. And the reason for that is computers and what we're doing with computers. Like automation is taking over a majority of jobs, and there's actually people that have the job to think of a way to eliminate jobs.
What happens when the computer breaks? They're going to need a physical presence to fix the computer.
Yeah.
That is Big Brother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Comes from the sky.
So, I mean, the biggest thing is and this is something that one of the politicians was mentioning, and I actually really like him. His name is Yang.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his last name at least. But he's Chinese American, and he used to be an entrepreneur. So I actually like where he's going kind of with his campaign. But his name's Andrew Yang, came to mind now. But what he was saying is, you know, like especially with like the automotive industry and transportation, truck drivers, they're getting ready to get rid of a bunch of truck drivers. Now, the way they're going to get rid of them is with trucks that drives themselves.
Well, again, Carlos, I was trying not to do it, but I got to do it. What we have here again is a fade to commit. You trying to tell me 18-wheelers, 130 tons or whatever it is, going to be on the road with massive amounts of weights, driving themselves?
Driving themselves.
What if somebody jams the signal? Now that big horse just don't stop on its own.
Yeah.
It's gonna run into something.
And these are things that they're thinking about. we have whizzes in our world, especially in America. We have some of the brightest minds in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Hackers.
And hackers, yep. And that's mainly where we would see a big of the problems. So like we'd see, cyber terrorism, for instance.
Could that be like, not to cut you off, that could be an avenue for like cyber terrorists, like you said.
Cyber terrorism.
You say jam the signals and just like an air traffic controller.
Yeah, we can't have big rigs crashing into things.
Right. Right.
It'd be catastrophic. But one thing that they were mentioning that would kind of counteract that is that, let's say, for example, if the machine were to lose its signal, for instance, or if there was a way that it couldn't continue to drive, there'd be a way to almost log
disengage
into them, engage into
and manually
start driving it. Yeah. So there would be a way to almost like remote into the computer. You know how like you call a tech guy and they're like, oh, well, I don't know what to do, and they're like, okay, well, push a few buttons on your computer, and then they'd start doing everything for you on your screen. Well, that's what they want to do with big trucks.
Very interesting. You're watching the Earnest Faison Show. I am your host, Earnest Faison, and we got the nowadays Nostradamus here, who's telling us what this world is going to look like here in the next 30 to 40 to 50 years. He's saying that there are going to be 18-wheelers, ladies and gentlemen, who are not going to be manned by a human being. Going to be on the computer, and you're going to be driving these things. That's fascinating. We also spoke about the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin. I'm sure you've heard about it. And he's saying that it's here to stay. Mm-hmm. So what other things on the horizon do you see that right now, with the naked eye, the layman out there, you said you're out of your mind. What do you see that's going to be the next big thing?
I mean, really anything that has to deal with automation. You think about it. That's where everything's heading. So if you can get into, the next big Uber or something like that, then...
Right. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
So we got mutual friends at the Premier Barbershop.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to Premier Barbershop.
Yeah, exactly right. And my barber, who's a diva, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
As a matter of fact, I went to go get a hot dog on the street because I support the small business.
Yeah, small business.
And the guy asked me, says, "Chris, your barber?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Is he ever on time?" I said, "It's not a good look." But that is, Premier Barbershop has a pretty good business model. Would you agree?
I would agree.
And you were the individual who helped start that.
Yeah, so I did help, the owners, Eric and Willie, start Premier Barbershop, and that was actually something that they were able to do, mostly on their own.
Yeah.
But they just didn't know how.
And again, we're nonprofit. We're not advocating Premier Barbershop, but we're shining the light more on the fact about honing in your skill set and how you were able to get them up and running.
Yeah, of course.
Based on your knowledge.
Yeah, so I mean, with them, they already had their client base.
Okay.
They just didn't know how to start a business, which a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you can go ahead and you could start another business tomorrow, and it could be a sole prop, which a lot of people don't even know what that is, but it's just
sole prop?
A sole prop or a sole proprietorship.
Okay.
Where you'd go ahead and essentially you'd open up the business under your social. As opposed to what other people call an employer identification number or a tax ID number.
That's just like me. I get off the road whenever we come to DBA, doing business as, or AKA also known as.
Also known as, yeah.
Yeah, and then you took it even a step further.
Yeah. So you can have a sole prop and then have it as a DBA. So I could be, Mr. Then Consulting, doing business as whatever I want.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, so it was that's fascinating. Podcasts.
Podcasts are definitely the next big thing. That's huge because it's not highly regulated, and you have a lot of control over your own content.
And Joe Rogan, who's with UFC, I didn't realize Joe Rogan has, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Rogan, who's with the UFC fight announcer, has the number one podcast in the world. I mean, Joe's on there smoking joints, he's cursing, I was like, okay, it's like you said, it's not regulated.
Yeah, he had Elon Musk on there.
Yeah,
which is
who smoked.
Yeah,
he got a lot
for
of
the
flack
first
for that.
time.
And
His stock went down for that.
Yeah, we're not talking about the smoke. We're just talking about it's not regulated.
Yeah.
Is what we're speaking about.
Yeah.
So you feel like this is the next big thing. How would you equate that versus the YouTube channel?
Similar. So you can make money on both, actually, both podcasts and YouTube. And I mean, if you'd like, we can kind of get into a little bit how it.
Yeah. Would like for you to, because my camera guy who's off camera there, the guru there, who was just on my show, Mr. Gary.
He wants to know.
We're going to be doing a podcast, so his ears are peeling, brother. All right. So give it to us, man.
So
give it to us.
With YouTube, for instance, you definitely have to have a certain amount of subscribers, as well as watch time in order to go ahead and start monetizing your channel.
Okay.
And the channel is really monetized off of things like just commercials. So do I
have to get sponsors also?
You can have sponsors, but you don't have to.
Okay, but people want to know, how do you make money on a YouTube station?
So there's a lot of ways to make money, and one of the ways that I make money, for instance, without even having a YouTube, and that a lot of people who have YouTube channels use as a bonus on there, is affiliate marketing. So you'll notice if you go to somebody's YouTube channel, lots of times they'll go ahead and they'll tell you right underneath their caption or whatever it is, hey, I use this camera to go ahead and film this. I went ahead and used this software to go ahead and make my editing. I went ahead and did this to, this is the laptop that I used. And the reason why they do that is because they're getting paid every time you click on those links and buy something like that. So for instance,
I'm just putting it together.
I'm an Amazon affiliate, as well as a few affiliates to a few other companies like, tax companies, things like that. Mm-hmm. And whenever people use my link to things, I get a percentage or a certain amount every time somebody buys something. So in putting that in your YouTube channel and across the web, for instance.
Now, the average person do not know this.
The average person does not know that, no. So affiliate marketing is a thing that...
We're not charging you, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. You're watching the Earnest Faison show. Joined by Mr. Carlos. Then, if not then...
If not now,
then
when,
boom,
right?
boom. Where's my camera? Where's Doc Servinson when I need him? But we're really enjoying speaking to him. He's just giving us an oversight on a lot of new and hot takes on a lot of interesting business things. And so we're talking about the YouTube and the podcast and how you can get paid with this. So continue.
Yeah, so as far as getting paid with it, affiliate marketing definitely is a huge way to do it. And then once you start building enough of an audience, people will start actually reaching out to you and giving you paid gigs. They'll say, hey, I want you on my show, or I want to have you come talk to some kids over here in this school, whatever.
Is it safe to say that you need at least 1 million followers to even, start making a couple dollars?
Nope.
See?
I'd say
we shot that down, and that's what I was told.
At most, you need 1,000 subscribers to start making, ad money. But even before then, I know people who are making money on YouTube just because, people watch it and they like their content, and then it leads to other businesses. So they're advertising their businesses on YouTube, and then in advertising their business on YouTube, people see it.
There you go.
And then they get money in the business.
Just off the top of your head, how many subscribers does Rogan have?
I mean to put you on the spot. I have no idea.
Millions, right?
Yeah, he has millions.
Millions. And he's there probably in his boxers.
He's in whatever he wants. I think he has a studio in his
probably
house.
Got bedhead, still sitting there talking to you, making hundreds of thousands of dollars while he's doing it.
But if you're on his podcast, you're on the podcast.
I know, that's what they say.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, I aspire to be that way. You heard it here first. They say, speak it into existence, and it will happen.
Believe and you can achieve.
That's right. And I believe and you can achieve. Norman Vincent Peale. Mm-hmm. You know what it is. You know what that is. So the podcast, we talked about the YouTube. So we got a couple more minutes before we get up out of here. Any parting shots that you would like to leave with my people here? Because it's been some fascinating stuff that's been disseminated. the next big thing or where you're going with it, crypto. We spoke about all that. Nonprofit,
Nonprofits.
501c3.
Yeah, those are fun. Not really. I mean, if you have a nonprofit, it's
That's what we are here.
It's fun, but it can be, you're wearing many hats, of course.
Yeah.
So
Well, I got the hardest working man in show business, Mr. Rick Dorman. He's the master of all of them. So yeah, I get that.
yeah, I mean, with nonprofits, I mean, you'd kind of have to ask me. There's so much that I can get into.
Yeah, right.
So that's something that would be more kind of.
So are you
streamlined.
considered a consultant for a lot of different things? Or because speaking about wearing a lot of hats, that would be you.
Yeah. So I've had to learn about a lot of different things. So yeah, I'm a consultant.
Do you feel comfortable in any arena speaking to people? Would you feel comfortable speaking to Bill Gates about some things? And
yeah, definitely.
What you're doing?
Bill
you
Gates?
Know, yeah, Warren Buffett. You say
Yeah, Warren Buffett.
Give him some
definitely.
education is what you be doing, right?
Well, I'm sure they'd teach me a lot of things too. But
Absolutely. You know, this has been fascinating to hear you speak about some of these things. Tell me about e-commerce before we get up out of here, real quick.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just literally commerce on the web. So if you were to break it down, you know, you can go ahead, and I had a business that I just recently sold. It was called Reusable Friend, where I had like these little collapsible reusable cups. And literally I just went ahead and I'd order them from China and I'd directly ship them to whoever ordered them. So it's a thing called drop shipping.
Yes, which we spoke about.
And drop shipping is nice because it doesn't involve a lot of cost. So whenever somebody would order a cup from me, which we can get into numbers because I don't mind. Let's say, for example, the cup costs $20. Well, the cup cost me $5. So I go ahead, I get the $20 from my customer, I spend the $5 to order the cup, and they get it from China.
Interesting. That's fascinating, man. But, you know, I'm going to be picking your brain more and more about this podcast and everything because this party was well made, and let it be known. It's been fun,
It's been spoken.
but I've got to run. My name is Earnest Faison. We will try to do better next time, but we feel like we did pretty good this time. Until next time, take care of yourself. Excellent, man.
Pleasure.
Excellent information.
I like it.